This channel has what you might call a collection of bootleg Pokemon games. Pokemon Distorted Realms, Beige, etc. It's amazing the frequency these show up online. They're generally fun, even if they are a bit unplayable, which they often are. The mistranslations and poor quality make them unintentionally humorous. I've seen videos on most of them, but there's one I haven't seen any mention of. I played it on stream around this time last year. What you're seeing is footage from that stream in case anyone recognizes it. Fortunately, it is still on the channel and I can provide a link in the description of this video. The game started with the familiar Nidorino and Gengar intro of the red and blue version. However, the press start screen had been altered. Red was there, but the Pokemon didn't cycle through. It also said Black version under the logo. Upon selecting New Game, the game started the Professor Oak speech, and it quickly became evident that the game was essentially Pokemon Red version. After selecting my starter, I looked at my Pokemon and I had an addition to Bulbasaur. Another Pokemon, Ghost. The Pokemon was level 1. It had the sprite of the ghosts that are encountered in Lavender Town before obtaining the Sylph Scope. It had one attack, Curse. I know that there is a real move named Curse, but the attack didn't exist in Generation 1, so it appears it was hacked in. Defending Pokemon were unable to attack Ghost. It would only say they were too scared to move. When the move Curse was used in battle, the screen would cut to black. The cry of the defending Pokemon would be heard. But it was distorted, played at a much lower pitch than normal. The battle screen would then reappear, and the defending Pokemon would be gone. If used in a battle against a trainer, when the Pokeballs representing their Pokemon would appear in the corner, they would have one fewer Pokeball. The implication was that the Pokemon died. What's even stranger is that after defeating a trainer, the battle commands would appear again. If you selected Run, the battle would end as it normally does. You could also select Curse. If you did, upon returning to the overworld, the trainer's sprite would be gone. After leaving and re-entering the area, the trainer would still be gone, but with a tombstone in their place, like the ones at Lavender Tower. Though the move Curse was not usable in all instances. It would fail if used against trainers that you would have to face again, such as your rival or Giovanni. I figured this was the gimmick of the game, allowing you to use the previously uncapturable ghosts. And because Curse made the game so easy, I essentially used it throughout the whole adventure. The game changed quite a bit after defeating the Elite Four, which consisted of my level 100 Ghost, a couple of Pokemon I used for HMs, and all 3 fossil Pokemon, which I got by killing a scientist. The screen cut to black, and a box appeared with the words, "Many years later." It then cut to Lavender Tower. An old man was standing there, looking at tombstones. It didn't take me long to realize this man was my character. The man moved at half the normal walking speed. I no longer had any Pokemon with me, not even Ghost, who had been impossible to remove from the party until this point. The overworld was entirely empty. There were no people at all. There were still the tombstones of the trainers that I'd used Cursed on, however. I could go pretty much anywhere in the overworld at this point, though my movement was limited by the fact I had no Pokemon to use HMs. And regardless of where I went, the music of Lavender Town continued on an infinite loop. After wandering for a while, I went through Diglett's cave and noticed that one of the cuddable bushes that normally blocks the path on the other side is no longer there, allowing you to advance and return to Pallet Town. Upon entering my house and going to the exact tile where I started the game, the screen cut to black. Then the sprite of a Charmander appeared. It was replaced by a Pidgey, then a Rattata. As the Pokemon progressed, I soon realized these were all of the Pokemon that I had used Curse on. After the end of my rival's final team, a Bugcatcher appeared, then a Youngster. These were the trainers that I had cursed. Throughout the sequence, the Lavender Town music was playing, but it was slowly decreasing in pitch. By the time my rival appeared on screen, it was little more than a demonic rumble. Another cut to black. A few moments later, the battle screen suddenly appeared. My trainer sprite was now that of an old man, the same one who teaches you how to catch Pokemon in Viridian City. Ghost appeared on the other side, along with the words, "Ghost wants to fight." I couldn't use items. I had no Pokemon. If I tried to run, I couldn't escape. The only option was fight, which would immediately cause me to struggle, which didn't affect Ghost but did chip at my own HP. Eventually, when my HP reached a critical point, Ghost finally used Curse, and the screen cut to black one final time.